Hello, it's another beautiful day here on MSME Africa Enterprise Chat. I am your host, Ara Nimi. Good to see you. Good to have you all on the conversation. Here we're bringing in trending topics as it affects the people, as it affects the economy, and as it affects businesses and entrepreneurs. Today, I have yet another amazing guest. She is the founder and CEO of Yes Chili. Chili sounds something spicy. And she'll be talking to us about the CBN's cash withdrawal policy and its impact on businesses. But before we get to that, Yes Chili, tell me, Elizabeth Nwaizu, can you tell me about Yes Chili? What's this about?
Right. Yes, Chili is a sauce making enterprise. We make tasty sauces that help you create easy meals and dishes. We have a sweet chili sauce, we have a hot sauce, and in a couple of weeks, hopefully maybe 1 month, we shall have a comprehensive range of barbecue sauces.
But I like barbecue. I really, really like barbecue. So, well done, a good one right there. Now we're looking at the CBN's cash withdrawal policy. As of last year, December 2022, the Central Bank of Nigeria came up with policies on cash withdrawal limit to both individuals and organizations. First, I want to ask, we've seen quite a lot of reaction since then. We've seen the effect of the policy, but what are your thoughts on this policy?
First off, it's a juggernaut that's moving forward, and there's nothing any of us can do to stop it. We can just get on the bandwagon and pull up our braces and then just do the best that we can to move forward. The first thing I would say is that the government needs to join hands with the private sector to make the infrastructure, to carry this policy a bit more robust. If they're going to go cashless, then obviously we need to see a lot more work go into the infrastructure that's set up to keep the system, moving forward. And principally, that would be the internet, connectivity. It's the driving force behind the policy. And we just need to see that a bit more robust so that it's supported and it makes the system, run smoothly or more smoother than it actually is running at the moment.
The Naira redesign is part of this policy that the CBN came up with. And as a matter of fact, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, says this is to help the economy, to mop up liquidity, to help ease inflationary pressure. But of course, how does it come to you being an entrepreneur, particularly in the food sector, I should say? How has it been, the Naira redesign? People are unable to get Naira at the moment.
It's pretty disruptive to day-to-day life, for individuals. It's disruptive to businesses. It's been a shock to the system. I don't feel that it's been well handled, and I think that's a view that will be shared across board. But like I said, it's a question of this juggernaut is moving, and it's going to crush anybody that stands in its way. So the best thing that we can do is, get with the program and do the best we can, to get on board. I know change is difficult. I'm not sort of singing a hymn to the government, but I'm just, facing reality, and that sort of pushes me towards getting on board with what the government is doing, and then just finding the best way we can to manage that transition. It's been pretty hard. You can't buy anything. For example, I needed to get a padlock to put on a lock, and the padlock cost 200 naira. But I actually didn't physically have the cash, to pay the lady that sells the padlock, and she obviously wasn't in the mood to give me an account number because she said she had no accounts and she didn't do transactions online. So that's how basic the problem is. The infrastructure just isn't in place at the moment to cope with the transition, to cope with the policy. And I just feel that, we should have a more robust infrastructure in place to ease the transition from, where we are to where the government obviously wants to take us.
All right. I noted you said something right there that it wasn't well handled. So I want to believe that this is coming from the aspect of the implementation of this policy, because quite a lot of people agree that yes, it's a good one, but when it comes to implementation, it's really an issue in Nigeria. What do you think they should have done better?
Well, there should have been a bit more sensitization, of both the people implementing the policies, people on the front lines like the banks and other financial institutions. There should have been a bit more information given out to members of the public. We should have had a bit more time, to go cashless. Just even policing the system, it's just been way below what one would reasonably expect to happen. I mean, the fallout is visible for everybody to see. There's no monies in the ATMs, there's no cash anywhere. And then a sort of side hustle or, a lateral business seems to have now kicked off, where you're exchanging naira for naira, selling the naira. I mean, this is unheard of. And I have every sympathy with the people that try to, implement the policies, but perhaps, a bit better planning, a bit more planning, better support, just all round better, implementation should have taken place. I'm not sure what those methods or what those measures would be, but I would expect that if you're implementing a policy, then you should have had an all-round think about how to implement, what if things went wrong, what your plan A, B, C, D would be. There should actually be a safety net somewhere, to catch a hold of your plans and policies.
Well spoken right there, really. And I know it's telling on quite a lot of us. I'm also affected. I'm unable to, get naira from the ATM, get to the POS, and they're telling you 4,000 naira for 20,000 or thereabouts. I mean, it's just really, really crazy. But of course, the CBN has said that, oh yes, this is for the greater good. We've seen analysts, we've seen quite a number of people saying, yes, this is for the greater good. We're trying to mitigate the effect of kidnapping and all of that in the country. Do you also agree that this is for the greater good?
I mean, I'm 100%, supportive of the policy, but where it falls short is in implementation. I mean, there's huge advantages of going cashless, and we really don't want to be left behind by the world. Everybody else is going cashless, so Nigeria shouldn't be left behind. So I'm all in, for pushing forwards with a cashless society. But like I said, the infrastructure needs to be in place. We as Nigerians are facing, one of the toughest times in our existence, and to have this loaded on top of the other pressures we are facing, i.e. petrol, scarcity, heading towards an elections. I mean, this is a very, very sensitive time to be a Nigerian living in Nigeria, and to have this, lumped on top of us as well to deal with. We're at breaking point. We really are at breaking point, and just things needed to have been done better. Things needed to have been done better.
Quite a lot of issues there for Nigeria, even as we prepare for the election, which is coming up in about a few days from now. But let me ask specifically, yes, Chile, how is all of these, policy, how is it taking a toll on you, and how are you managing the situation for yes, Chile now?
I mean, for yes, Chile, we obviously have serious cash issues. So the transactions we would normally do with cash, we can't because we don't have the cash available. So that has slowed down a lot of things like production, distribution, even advertising, and getting our products there where the customers need them. So it's having a huge impact on our operations. But we have to plan. We have these issues we're dealing with, so we have to plan. We're looking at moving towards having more cashless interactions with our customers. So we're looking at digital channels, how we can pay and get paid using digital channels, what kind of POS machines to get, trying to talk to our suppliers and some of the people we do business with, if they would go ahead and, consider, instead of having cash, going cashless.
Oh, all right, thank you so much for your response right there. Before I let you go, I think I would just ask that what advice do you have for fellow business owners that have found themselves in this situation? What do you think they should do? What's the way out?
Right. I mean, very quickly, I would just say educate yourself, prepare yourself and your staff on digital payment methods, and then try and marry that with inventory and record keeping. Identify which digital channels your customers prefer to use and get familiar with those, i.e. what payment platforms they prefer, would it be Paystack, Flutterwave, VTC, and then create structures that would support interacting with those platforms between yourself and the customers. I would say get the best possible connectivity that's out there that you can get and that's suitable for you. Invest in cybersecurity. Just show your customers that you're doing the best that you can and their information is safe with you, so they feel more confident in transacting, online with you, because security is a huge concern for a lot of customers. And if you can give them a bit of confidence that their information is secure and safe, then they have a more confidence and trust, in transacting with you, and also that kind of builds up your brand integrity as well. And then the other thing I was gonna say is that if your business can go online, then take it online. If you're online already, do what you can, to continuously improve your product or service delivery. And then basically that's just it in a nutshell.
Beautiful insights right there. You have really spoken well. Thank you so much for your time on the show and for joining on the conversation. Elizabeth Nwaizu, the founder and CEO of Yes Chile, speaking to us about the CBN cash withdrawal policy and the impact on the business space and on entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for joining the conversation.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
All right, I mean, quite a lot of issues bothering us in Nigeria right now, but we've heard a lot from Elizabeth Nwaizu, the CEO of Yes Chile, and hopefully the whole issue would be abated, say, when the elections are over. Thank you so much for joining the conversation on Enterprise Chat here at MSME Africa. I am Aranimi. But don't forget, as I always say, to connect with us on our social media platform on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at MSME Africa, or visit our website. Yes, MSME Africa online. Thank you so much. See you next week. Bye-bye.